Welcome to Staff Works Explained. Welcome to another video, and in this video we'll be talking about the extension of Kenya SGR to Malaba and eventually to Uganda. We'll look at what happened, why was this section suspended, the alternatives which were provided, and the effects of this suspension, as well as the options which are available for Uganda. If it's your first time here, I encourage you to subscribe to this channel, and for the repeat viewers, we thank you for the support. The standard gauge railway in Kenya is a major infrastructure project that was initiated in 2013 by the Kenyan government, and this was aimed at improving transportation and boosting economic development in Kenya. The railway line runs from the port city of Mombasa to the capital city, Nairobi, and was officially opened in May 2017. The SGR was contracted by, with the help of funding and technical assistance from China. The plan was to extend the railway line further to Naivasha, and then to Kisumu, and finally to Malaba, which is a border town between Kenya and Uganda. The Malaba extension was intended to enhance cross-border trade and also promote regional integration. The project was planned to be implemented in phases, with the first phase involving the construction of 472 kilometers railway line from Nairobi to Mombasa at a cost of 3.8 billion. The project was financed through the loan from China Exim Bank. It took 4 years to complete this section, and which started in 2013, and the line was commissioned in May 2017. The second phase involved the construction of a 120 kilometers railway line from Nairobi to Suswa, which is in Narok County, and this section was expected to cost $1.5 billion. The project was also financed through a loan from the China's Exim Bank. The construction of this line started in 2017, and by 2019 it was completed. The third phase was to involve construction of a 271 line from Naivasha to Kisumu with an estimated cost of $3.6 billion. The line was supposed to connect Kisumu to the SGR network, provided a direct link to the port of Mombasa. However, the project was put on hold due to lack of funds. The fourth phase and the last phase was to involve the construction of 107 kilometers line from Kisumu to Malaba at an estimated cost of $1.9 billion. This line was intended to connect Kenya to Uganda network, providing a link between the port and Kampala. The planned route for the SGR to Malaba was expected to pass through several towns and cities in Kenya, including Narok, Bomet, Kericho, Kisumu, Yala, Mumias, and Busia. However, in 2019, the government announced that it had suspended the extension of this line due to lack of funds. The government had secured funding from China to finance the project, but it was facing problems in servicing the debt. There were also concerns which were raised about the economic viability of the project. Some critics argued that the cost of the SGR was inflated, and it would take long to recoup the investment. Others argued that the old meter gauge railway line, which runs from the port of Mombasa to Malaba, could be revived and upgraded at a lower cost. Additionally, allegations of corruptions in the construction of the existing sections of the SGR were also raised. There were concerns that some of the contracts awarded for the project were inflated, and some of the funds intended to complete this project were misused. As a result, the Kenya government shifted its focus on reviving the old meter gauge railway MGR line. The government secured funding from the European Union to upgrade the railway line, including construction of new stations and acquisition of new locomotives and wagons. This upgrade is expected to enhance connectivity between Kenya and neighboring country, that is Uganda and others. The cost of this project is expected to be $300 million, significantly lower than what it would have cost to construct or to extend the SGR to Malaba. The decision to suspend the extension of SGR to Malaba was met with mixed reactions. Some experts argued that the extension of the railway line to Malaba was not economically viable. Given the low volume of goods traded between the two countries, others accused the government of mismanaging the funds which had been allocated for the SGR project, and also inflation of cost and allegation of corruptions. The suspension of the SGR extension to Malaba had several effects on Kenya economy and Uganda, and also in infrastructure development. Some of these effects included delayed trade facilitation between the two countries, where SGR was supposed to reduce the cost and ease of transporting goods between the two countries. So the suspensions resulted to delayed in trade facilitation and also increasing the transportation cost. There is also increased congestion on the roads. SGR was supposed to solve that, but since there is this suspension or this delay, then congestion will still continue. There is also loss of potential revenue which would have been gained out of this completion of this project. Now that will not happen. There is also public dissatisfaction, where the public was expecting to have this line. So this, with the suspension, this has eroded public trust in the government ability to deliver on projects which is as promised. Suspension of these extensions is also likely to affect or to negatively impact the trade between Kenya and Uganda, where SGR was expected to provide faster and more efficient mode of transportation of goods, and this could have boosted trade volumes between the two countries. With the suspension of this project, existing MGR will continue to be used, but it's slower and inefficient. This will lead to higher cost of transportation, longer transit times, and delays in delivery of goods. As a result, this may become less attractive for business between the two countries, which will negatively affect the trade between two countries. In addition to this, the suspension of this SGR section may also strain the relationship between Kenya and Uganda. Uganda had expected the SGR extension to be completed to improve connectivity between the two countries and boost trade. Although Uganda has not constructed its part, it expected that Kenya will do its part and construct its section so that it can also complete its section. So with this delay, Uganda is not motivated to complete its section. So what options are available for Uganda? Since the suspension of this section, Uganda has been exploring alternative options to improve trade between the two countries and also have its own infrastructure. It is thinking of reviving the old MGR line, which is existing, and is, although it's less efficient and takes long for goods to reach their destination, this is an option that is available. There's also the option of using road to move its goods from Mombasa port to Kampala. This option is faster, it's more flexible than rail transport, but more expensive. There's also development of other infrastructure where you can invest in other transport means. For example, Uganda is planning to build a new port on Lake Victoria to facilitate trade between Kenya and other countries. There is also exploration of other trade partners. Uganda can explore other trading partners outside Kenya to reduce its dependence on Kenya market. For example, Uganda can focus to trade with Tanzania or Rwanda. There's also the issue of inland container depot as part of the SGR project, and ICD was also planned, and this was constructed in Naivasha. This is a cargo terminal which is located inland, away from the seaports, and allows faster clearance of cargo and reduces the need for long distance tracking. So Naivasha ICD serves as a hub for cargo that is transported from the port by rail to Naivasha, where it is then transferred through trucks for delivery to various destinations. The construction of this ICD, Naivasha ICD, was mainly to reduce congestion at the port of Mombasa and also improve cargo handling efficiency. It has been operational, and it has really solved this problem, partially solved this problem of delays in the extension of SGR to Malaba. Malaba has not been affected. I mean, the extension of this railway to Malaba has not been affected by operation of ICD. It continues to be pushed, and probably sometimes when some of these issues which have been listed are sorted out, it will be built. Uganda is also looking at the link with Tanzania. It has an option of linking the SGR with Tanzania. Tanzania has completed some section of its line, that is from Dar es Salaam to Morogoro. The second phase of the project is also which runs up to Makutupora is almost complete. Some other sections are still being constructed, so Uganda might decide to link its railway or SGR with Tanzania, since the Kenya part has been halted. There is a planned project which involves construction of an SGR from Matukula to Kampala, and this was expected to start in 2022 and be completed within 3 years, but this has not happened. Once this is complete, it can significantly improve the connectivity and trade between the two countries. There is also the option of linking with Rwanda, where there's a project known as Eastern Corridor Project, which is supposed to connect the two countries through Milima Hills, covering a distance of 521. The project is being developed in phases, with phase 1 consisting railway from Kampala to other sections. So Uganda might opt for this section, the Eastern Corridor, which is expected to facilitate trade between Uganda or Kigali and Kampala. In summary, we have seen that SGR is a major infrastructure project in Kenya, and its aim was to improve transportation and boost economic development in Kenya. The railway line, as you have seen, runs from the port of Mombasa to Nairobi, and currently has reached Naivasha or Suswa, Narok County, and it was funded through loans from China. The plan was to extend the railway line from Naivasha, where it has reached, to Malaba, to enhance cross-border trade and also promoting regional integration. But the project was put on hold due to lack of funds, concern over economic viability, corruption allegations, and also mismanagement of funds. The Kenya government is now focusing on reviving the MGR line, which is also runs from the port of Mombasa to Malaba, and the government is getting funds from the European Union. The suspension of the SGR extension to Malaba has several negative effects to Kenya, its economy and infrastructure development, which might include delay in trade facilitation, increased road congestion, loss of potential revenue, stalled infrastructure development, public dissatisfaction, and also other problems. The old MGR may provide some relief, but it may not be enough to address the trade facilitation between Kenya and Uganda. The Kenya government needs to address corruption and mismanagement of funds, and also ensure that the future infrastructure projects are economically viable and sustainable to avoid negative impacts on trade and development. As you have seen, Uganda has options, and if Uganda decides to follow these options, then this will hurt Kenya in one way or another. So thank you for watching this video. If you have gone this far, we thank you for repeat viewers, we thank you for the support that you have given this channel. If it's your first time here, I encourage you to subscribe to this channel. Give a comment on what you think about this suspension. Thank you.